because a lot of times when you play fair and you realize that, you know, fair is fluid, the definition of fair is fluid, and then you stuck to the script and played by the book, that's how you start to doubt yourself. That's how you start to be angry at the success of others, and that's how you start to further stray away from the true joy of knowing who you are by just trusting yourself and doing those things because you deserve to act on it. Hey Pixies, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia, and I'm back with another video. So as we can see by the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about why it's time for you to stop playing fair. I think this is a really important topic that has, you know, been on my heart that I feel like a lot of people need to share, and it's about owning yourself, owning your path, your journey, and doing what is the best fit for you in your life unapologetically. As you all know, on this channel, I've been sharing my journey of growth, reinventing myself, becoming and just defining the type of woman that I truly want to be, and this topic is really important and ties into that. So if you're interested in hearing my take and my perspective, just stay tuned. I think we can all agree that in life we're often put into boxes, and people are often imposing different methods, ways, procedures, how-tos, and the right ways of doing things, of how we're supposed to live our lives, relate to ourselves, relate to people, and how to get from point A to point B. We're born into life, and some people can sometimes equate it to a game, and this game has rules, but sometimes the rules that we are born into life with, some of the principles, the values, the things that we're taught, they are not the best for serving who we are at the core of ourselves individually. They might be, you know, better for serving a collective. They might be better for, you know, serving a group of people who did not put your best interest in mind when these rules were made. So this is why I say it's so important to learn yourself, discover who you are, your likes, your dislikes, get outside of that box and think critically for yourself to say, what are my rules? How do I want my life to go? How can I take control of the game so that the game doesn't game me? I've said this before, but oftentimes we're not really given the opportunity and sat down and, you know, taught to really think about who we want to be, what our desires are, what is the best activities, what is the best experiences, what's the best environment that's going to speak to us as a person and who we are. And this is a lot of like the soul work and soul searching that I have done within myself, that I 100% say that everyone deserves and should take the time to do for themselves. Because with people imposing all of their thoughts, all of their beliefs, their ideals, it's sometimes hard to hear your own voice and answer to the call of your own life, because you're clouded with so many different messages that honestly sound very compelling. A lot of times when I share, you know, my perspective, sometimes I use the word advice because it's a common term that people understand, but I really don't even like to use the term advice. And I feel like I can make a whole separate video about that, about like why I don't take advice and why I try not to give advice, because everything is open to interpretation. Everything is just a perspective, and it's our job to view life, understand it, see what works for us and see what does not, but not necessarily just take everything in that's presented to us as fact or as law. If you've ever heard the saying, if you always do what you've always did, then you'll always get what you've always got. And that's a lot of the ways how we live our lives without even knowing it. So many people are counting on you to play fair. So many people are counting on you to follow the rules. So many people are counting on you to stay the same and not deviate from the script to best serve them and their idea of how the world should be. But it's your job to look internally and decide for yourself, what is your best ideal of the world and how it should be. And quite frankly, the world that you should operate most deeply in does dwell within you. It's inside of you. Once you realize and determine that you really do have so much power within yourself to think differently, to process differently, to relate to people differently, to respond or not to respond to certain situations, you really start to become just more energized, confident, self-aware, and even magnetic as a person. Another way to think about it is like this. Say you're put on a team of people and you're given the task to follow the map and get from point A to point B. The rules are you have to stay with the group, and the goal is that you all get from point A to point B together in the best, most safe, and like shortest amount of time. Before you start the journey, you're given like some resources. You're given a map, you're given a guide, a compass, and you're given like some type of strategies of the people that came before you, maybe how they chose to execute the path, how they chose to walk the path, and you have this knowledge to kind of help you and like show you what to look out for as you're on this journey. So you embark on the journey with the team, you guys are walking down the path, and nobody really knows what to expect. So you guys all just stay together and kind of use the map and the resources of the people that came before you in order to get from point A to point B. Now what makes it different is you're walking down the path with everyone else and you look off to the side and you see a path that looks a little bit intriguing to you. You look and something within you is saying like, I feel like we should go this way. You don't see it anywhere on the map. It doesn't say that anyone else has ever taken this path before, but there's something within you that says, I feel like if I take this path, I'm going to get to the destination and it's going to be the best version. It's going to be quicker. Like you don't really know, but you have some type of clue, some type of idea. So you tell everyone, hey guys, look over here. I see this other path. Maybe we can take this way. This might help us. Everyone's like, no, no, no. We should just stick to the map. No one's ever taken that path before. I don't see this written down anywhere. We're going to just all stay together. We need to get from point A to point B. So we're just going to continue to go this way. So you're met with a choice. You can either continue with the group and go the way that they're going, make it to the destination, but never knowing what would happen if you would have taken that other path. You all arrive there together and you maybe might not even notice a difference, and maybe it might be pulling at you to say like, dang, I wonder what would have happened if I would have took that path. I wonder what would have happened. Would I have gotten there quicker, or what would have been the outcome? Now say you do decide to take the alternative path, and say nobody else wants to walk the path with you. They all decide to stay with each other, walking, following the map, following the guides and the resources that were given before them, but you decide to take the alternative route because you're like, you know what, I feel like there's something along this path. I'm going to take this path. I'm going to go it by myself because there's something within me that feels like this is what I should be doing. So you take the path alone and you don't know what to expect. You encounter things that were not written down in the guidebook. Why? Because no one has taken this path before. As you may encounter different obstacles or different perspectives that you may not have been aware of because it wasn't written down or aforementioned, you have to freestyle. You have to figure it out on your own. You have to decide in the moment what's the best decision. So ultimately, you take the path, you learn the lessons, you overcome whatever it is that was in your way, and you get to the destination. And the facilitators are waiting for you, and they're like giving you this big praise, like you made it to the end, great job. And they're like, well, where's everyone else? And you're like, well, where is everyone else? Like, and they're like, well, did you stay on the same path as they took? And then you're like, no, I took this alternative path. And they're like, wow, like that path literally cut the time in half, and no one has ever done that before. And because of that, like you get to just chill out over here, you know, enjoy these amenities, these prizes, these great things, whatever it is, while we wait for the others to come. So everybody else eventually pulls up and you're just sitting there chilling, you know, maybe got a little drink and a pineapple, and you're just like, hey guys, what's going on? And they just looking around all tired and thirsty and disheveled, and they're like looking at you, looking as good as you look. And it's like, well, how did you do that? How did you get here? And so it's not that you didn't have to overcome obstacles. You may have had to overcome obstacles and you may have done it alone or done it by yourself, but you did it, and because it was the best path for you, it yielded the greatest outcome. But when they get down the path that they took, that everyone else took, all they see is like, you've cleaned yourself up, you've been chilling, you look well rested, you're eating, and you know, they're famished and everything. So naturally, they might be a little bit shocked. They might not be happy for you to see that, oh, you left the group and now you're here and you're in a better off position and you made it here before us, or whatever the case is. That's how life is, y'all. And for me, what I'm realizing is you just literally have to decide if you're going to be that person. If you're willing to be that person to take the road less traveled by, to take the alternative path, and be willing to be the person to step away from the group and do what's in your best interest. As y'all know, I'm starting my lifestyle brand, October Song, and I've showed y'all some of the goodies, and I have some other stuff that I'm super excited to show and share with you as well. And starting a business has been like a big step and a leap for me. I shared that I've always been like very into business, entrepreneurial as a child. I always wanted to, you know, sell my crafts, my baked goods, all of these different types of things. And a lot of times when I was growing up, it was discouraged. But when I was a kid, I would always just decide what I wanted to do, and then I would just do it. I would say, oh, I want to learn how to make this thing. I would Google it, search it up on YouTube, like how to knit, and then I would know how to knit. Next thing you know, I'm selling hats. Or, oh, I want to learn how to make jewelry. How to make jewelry, searching it up, and now I'm, you know, selling jewelry to my teachers and the parents at parent-teachers conferences. This is something that's always been a part of who I am, and it's something that I had to learn to get back to, own, grow into, because like I said, it's not a skill that was encouraged within me as I was growing up. It's almost like I had to, you know, fight to cultivate this thing for myself, because the people who I grew up around, they were not too keen on me, you know, having this type of interest or expressing myself in this way. I've also shared with y'all that I took a year-long break off of social media. I have videos up about, you know, how to take a social media fast or take a social media break for anyone that's interested. But during that time, you know, people made things up about me, you know, people who could have checked on me, like they didn't check on me. And it's not that I wanted anyone to check on me, but it's like, dang, if you thought it was something wrong with me, then you could have checked on me instead of like, you know, making up something about me. And that's just how people are. And I've noticed also, like, you know, lately since I started a business, it's just one of those things that comes with the territory. You know, some friends and family members, people have, you know, started kind of acting a little bit funny towards me. I've been taking a lot of time to myself, and to be quite honest with you right now, I do not have a lot of time to pour into other relationships or friendships, and that's just a choice and a decision that I've made. I'm choosing to focus on, you know, the content that I'm creating, growing a business. All of that takes time and effort, especially when you don't come from a situation where you're just privileged to have, like, you know, access to a whole bunch of money. But the one thing about me is I will create a privilege for myself because I have access to resources, and that's another video I want to make, is how to recognize the privileges that you can create for yourself. Yeah, I'm a young lady. I just turned 26 like 2 weeks ago, and to fund my business, I get up, I go to work every day, I work my hours at work, and then the time that's spent outside of work is spent towards, you know, sourcing products, building relationships with suppliers, manufacturers, making sure, you know, ingredients, quality, testing, all of that stuff. And you know what? It costs money. And it seems that this era of my life is offending people, but this is why I'm saying it's like people spend their whole life playing safely, following the rules, and they get upset that you give yourself permission to do things that they do not give themselves permission to do. And quite frankly, you just have to decide that, hey, that's not really my business. The money that I make from working my job, and y'all know I travel for work and stuff like that, you know, I don't glorify hard work or anything, but it's like I work like everyone else. And the way that I choose to spend my time and spend my money is that, you know, I'm investing in myself. And so it's also one of those things to where it's like, playing fair also consists of, you know, validating yourself through other people's opinion. A lot of people want to be more close to the process or more looped in or whatever it is that they feel like I have going on that should be shared with them. But I've always been the type of person to where it's like I'm just really in my own world, and I kind of have to go within to hear my own thoughts, hear what it is that I want to do, work on something, and then put it out there, produce it. I don't like to have a lot of opinions. I don't like to have a lot of people knowing what it is that I'm doing, quite honestly, until it's done. Some people are different in that aspect, and some people don't like the fact that you are the way that you are, and you process the world and you take on your challenges and your endeavors in a way that is foreign or like not relatable to them. But that's what I mean. You cannot play fair, because you cannot go up to people and say, is this okay with you? Is this okay with you? Is this okay with you? To gain buy-in and like total just acceptance for what it is that you're doing. Sometimes you have to just have the confidence to say, you know what? I know what I'm doing, and y'all are going to see that I know what I'm doing later. And maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but it's my not knowing what I'm doing to have. It's not you to say you don't know what you're doing, so you can't do that, you know, because there's other things that I could be doing that's like a, you know, more concerning for people than like me starting a business. So basically what I'm trying to say is like, it's time for you to stop playing fair. It's time for you to stop seeking validation. It's time for you to go after the thing, whatever it is that you want, your dream, your goals, your desire. It's time for you to repair your heart. It's time for you to, you know, start that business, act out on that idea. It's time for you to take that art class. You know, it's time for you to use your voice, spread that message that you've always wanted to spread. And you do not have to get anyone else's approval or validation in the process of you doing that, because a lot of times it slows you down. Sometimes people mean you well and they, you know, want to give you advice, but oftentimes advice is just projections of fear. And some people feel like they want the opportunity to be able to warn you to not do what it is that you're doing, so that they can get their insecurities out, and so that they can say like, well, have you considered all these things? Caution is sometimes a guise for people just projecting their insecurities, and it's also like a form of procrastination and just a thing that, you know, we use within ourselves to get ourselves further away from that internal peace and that trust that you are supposed to have. This is like one of those get into gear motivational type of videos to say like, you are the start and the end point of what it is that you want to do. Like, you are the person that has to choose the path that you take in life. Are you going to stop and, you know, follow the crowd or check the facts or see if everyone buys in and agrees with you before you do what it is that you want to do? That's up to you. But I understand the difficulty of it. I understand that, you know, sometimes it's challenging, especially when people you feel like should be there for you, should care about you, should be in your corner, you know, seemingly make something that you're trying to do seem like it's some type of a insult to them, or it's something that you shouldn't be doing, or that you know, don't deserve to do. This is your motivation, your encouragement to keep pressing forward. Stop playing fair. People are counting on you to not know your worth. People are counting on you to follow the status quo. People are counting on you to, you know, stay the same so that the same things that have always been will continue to be. But people are also counting on you to break that mold. People are also counting on you to be the best version of yourself. People are also counting on you to be that example, that motivation, that inspiration. And quite frankly, it should all be so that you can do it for yourself. And in the process of that, then if you inspire other people, then it's just icing on the cake. And that's how I view myself, and that's how I live my life. None of the decisions that I make are made with anyone in mind except perhaps like my future self or my future children. Anyone else that came before me or anything like that, like, I don't have to uphold, you know, the standards of society. I don't have to uphold the, you know, values of people and things that don't relate to the values that I have determined and defined for myself. That's what I mean when I say don't play fair, because a lot of times when you play fair and you realize that, you know, fair is fluid, the definition of fair is fluid, and then you stuck to the script and played by the book, that's how you start to doubt yourself. That's how you start to be angry at the success of others, and that's how you start to further stray away from the true joy of knowing who you are by just trusting yourself and doing those things because you deserve to act on it. I just wanted to share that video. I hope it was motivational for you. Please share this video with someone, like this video, comment on this video, let me know what other topics that you want me to address or videos that you want to talk about. I've been so busy lately, y'all. I'm making so many strides in the business, and I appreciate all of the support and just love and encouragement that I have been getting. I'm so excited to like show you guys this and like launch it to you and just like take that step and that leap of faith. I will be launching Black Friday weekend, so if you haven't signed up for my email list, sign up. I will be adding like additional emails and things. Life has just been like a lot going on right now, but again, thank y'all for, you know, being there for me, being patient with me. Hope this video helps someone. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.